Let's start here, Olden. Fred VanVleet called out one of the officials last night. They lost to the Clippers, and Clippers had like 1 million free throws, and they had 14. Whatever it was. It wasn't a pretty picture. But Ben Taylor is the referee's name.
Yep.
And we do have the sound, but he said, quote, "I don't care. Ben Taylor was effing terrible tonight." He went on and on and on. Let's hear Fred VanVleet. All right, we're going to hear momentarily. Here we go. Yes. He said it very quietly, but
I don't mind. I'll take a fine. I don't really care. I thought, Ben Taylor was f***ing terrible tonight. On most nights, a couple of the, out of the three, there's one or two that just the game up, and it's been like that a couple games in a row. Denver was tough, obviously. You come out tonight, you're competing pretty hard. The third quarter, I get a tech, changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be and just kind of the game up. Nobody's coming to see that. They come to see the players. I think we're losing a little bit of the fabric of what the NBA is and was, and it's been disappointing this season. You could look up most of my texts this year have been with Ben Taylor officiating. So at a certain point as a player, you feel it's personal, and it's never a good place to be. That's not why we lost tonight. We got outplayed, but it definitely makes it tougher to overcome.
The foul language is just inexcusable. If you're the NBA, you can't have Olden that kind of. This is a press conference. You don't know who's listening. You know what I mean? Like that's not becoming of an NBA player.
Well,
it's over the top. You can complain,
but in the heat of the moment, things happen. Things will be said. But
the heat of the moment after he took a shower and came out to the press conference,
because he's heated. He's in the moment because he said what he said because that was right. Ben Taylor messed that game up. And listen, we can go back to the beginning of this sport. I always say this. People keep thinking Tim Donaghy is the only one.
You got evidence?
And I'm telling you right now.
I'm asking you got evidence?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Well, we would love to have it on the show. I want you to bring that evidence.
You know me. I don't say nothing unless I can back it up.
Okay, I'm
because
just saying.
The league had an issue a long time ago with referees that were flying to Vegas and putting bets on games and all that stuff. And they quietly got them out the league. And so my thing is this. He made the point, no one comes to see Ben Taylor or Scott Foster or anybody else referee.
I agree with that.
And it's a problem for the league. These guys all of a sudden have this short temper, and they have made it personal. There used to be a time when you could actually walk up to a ref and talk to him, and they would oblige. Now it's like, stay away from me, don't talk to me kind of thing, and it's not fair. And I always wondered, why is it that, okay, he said his name. He called him out by name. Okay, we know Fred VanVleet and everybody else in the NBA. Why is it that we can't say the referee's name? Why is that an issue?
Because it does. He said that's not the reason we lost, but. And then he said how effing terrible he was. It's just not. There's a degree of your frustration if he wanted to say that on the court to his face, not into a public press conference. Also, if he thinks there's something personal going on, go complain to the union, go complain to the league. Doing what he did last night is not going to get that fixed. You really believe that's going to get it fixed?
No, it's not, but it's been done. It's been tried. The league doesn't care. It doesn't matter. And so to me, they are messing up the product because these referees, and I used to always wonder, I don't get technicals because I'm not giving you my money. That's the reason why I never really got a lot of technical fouls.
I don't blame you.
And so to me, these guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars, so they can afford to give away $5,000. I can't, and I couldn't back then. But at the same time, the referees are becoming bigger than the game, and that's an issue. And that has to be
They're
addressed.
not bigger than the game, but I understand if they're referees. And I'm not saying all of them are good, and you got to weed out bad referees, but I don't think he solved anything.
Okay.
He had a frustrated night.
Okay, let me
they
ask you
lost
this.
also in Denver. I get that, Olden. I'm not like naive, okay? But that's not the time or the place to air it out like that. Do
That's
that on the
true.
court to Ben Taylor.
I got
okay?
you. I got you. He
Do
could've-
it on
he
the
could-
court.
He could have done it somewhere
He could have
else. I
said
get
everything he
and
said
you're right.
right there.
He shouldn't have cussed. I get that, and that's where he's wrong, and and he's gonna pay the price.
And that's what he'll pay the price
Yeah,
for, because
he's
you
gonna pay
can't
the
have
price.
that at a press conference where you know there's cameras and microphones.
Okay, but let me ask you this question: to the game prior, the Denver game, do you believe Scott Foster should have thrown Scotty Barnes out the game?
No, I'm not. I'm with you. Okay, that was overzealous.
That was
overzealous.
extremely overzealous.
Yes, and there are
And they weren't
referees
cheating.
who think that people did come to see them blow whistles, and we know that that's not the case.
You know, that's
I
like
always
the-
say, like an umpire in baseball, Olden, is supposed to be like third base. We need you to play the game, but nobody bought a ticket to see you.
Exactly. But it's so funny because you read Scotty's lips. He goes, "Damn, they cheating." And it's like, but it's like that's a common thing for players because that's what you feel, because that's our go-to line. It's been that way forever. It's not saying you actually are cheating.
So
and I think Scott Foster took offense to that because, hey, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. But don't get mad at the young man because he made a silly statement like that under his breath. He mouthed the words, "Damn, they cheating."
How about you in your career? Give me. Okay, were there times where you just felt like, okay, they're trying to help this team win, they're going to the line 3 times as many times as we're going, we're playing physical, they're playing physical against us, but we're getting all the calls. Did you ever have a moment or a circumstance where you really felt like there was some of that going on?
I'll share 2 with you.
Okay.
Okay, one I was involved with directly, one indirectly with one of my teammates. Tom Chambers made a statement about referees.
Now, where was
cheating.
this? Where were you playing? Just give us the
Seattle.
background. Okay, you're in Seattle with
Tom Chambers makes a statement about
Tom Chambers was a good player.
really good player. Mark Jackson knows that too well. So he made the statement, "Damn, you must have money on the game." He blurted it out, right? And I think he did his interview and said the same thing. Do you know these referees basically colluded or got together and they screwed him over for the next 3 years, okay? He couldn't buy a call, all right? And so to me, that's one. And my second one, and it worked in my favor, okay? And I won't tell you the referee's name because I love him to death. But this is like my first year or second year, one of them, but it's early in my career. I get a foul called on me, and I said, "Hey, you know, I think you missed that." Right? And this is right at halftime. I said, "I think so. Take a look at it, please." And they looked at it, you know, because they always have the videos. He's like, so after halftime, he comes over to me and says, "You were right. I missed it. So the next time you get the ball, just make a move and I'll give it back to you."
Are you serious?
My right hand of God, man.
I've heard players tell me or whatever, like if they blow a call and they just say, "I got you next time down."
Yeah, but it's
right?
like, ouch, for real? Come on now. That shouldn't even come into play.
And those are those makeup calls where you know that like they blew something and they're trying to even it out.
But the integrity of the game is shot at that point. It doesn't matter if you blew it, okay? Just don't make the same mistake over. Now you're going to give me a call to make up for it because I didn't even get fouled.
Yeah, going forward, I wonder, and we want to hear from you, 877-99 on Fox. Do you feel like Olden feels? I mean, you're saying that the refereeing is out of hand and they're compromising the integrity of the game with some of these calls and patterns and maybe vendettas against players. I don't see it that severe. But I wonder if maybe more people are on your side that the referees have interfered with the game, Olden, and there's too much referees being involved in the game. You know, like we said, referees are important, but we shouldn't even know, to be honest, Ben Taylor's name. If you're doing your job right, am I right?
You're
As far
right.
as a referee,
You
you
absolutely
should
right.
know who the referee. The only time we should know is when they announce them, really, like for the NBA Finals, and you know who the best of the best, right, are going to referee the NBA Finals. Other than that, we really should know.
We know everything about the players, so hey, all's fair now.
All right,
I need to know how much Ben Taylor makes.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, like, the problem is there's got to be disciplinary as far as, not holding on to people who don't do their jobs.
On the reps, exactly.
Right,
I've been saying that. There's got to be some kind of punishment.
Like you're out. Like you've had 2 or 3 bad years. Your rating is very low, and we need to make a move.